We really believe that we can bring cognitive function and brain health measurements in the same way to the at-home to really make sure that people can monitor consistently over time. And I think that's an area where we can continue to see and also support that early identification piece to then support patient care in the long run.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Rob Baker, the CEO of Cambridge Cognition. Rob, very good to meet you. In a nutshell, what does Cambridge Cognition do and who uses your technology?
Sure. So Cambridge Cognition is a neuroscience technology company with a focus in brain health. So we have developed scientifically validated tools, digital and voice-based cognitive assessments, which can accurately and objectively measure brain health and cognitive function. We're used by researchers to drive scientific discovery, by pharmaceutical companies to accelerate drug development through patient identification, and then subsequently monitoring and measuring treatment effects, and then by clinicians to improve patient care. And that includes being able to use real-world tools that can accurately monitor and track cognition and brain health over time.
And you're doing really well. Your new sales orders jumped 73% last year. What's driving that growth and how did your team make it happen?
So we had a real fundamental step change and focus at the back end of 2024. And through 2025, we really put in a focus of commercial strategy around large pharmaceutical companies, whereby our tools may have been used previously or we had a reasonable engagement. And what we did was just relentlessly focus around being ensured that we were communicating our scientific validation, our value propositions effectively, and really making sure that our teams and tools were enabled to be able to address the raising challenges that pharmaceutical companies came with developing drugs in the CNS space.
I mean, looking at one of those tools, what problem does CANTAB Pathway solve that traditional assessments don't?
Firstly, so CANTAB Pathway is based on a set of our core assessments, and our assessments have been around for 20 to 30 years. We've got over 3,500 publications referencing the use of CANTAB. And the thing is, it's got a broad application, not just within a single disease area or therapeutic area. So it's really being able to sort of package those assessments together in a new delivery method. And so what we were seeing was the challenge around real-world tools to screen and support ongoing monitoring and triaging from that perspective. So it's designed to move from screening to insight to ongoing monitoring. So it starts with a rapid, low-friction cognitive screen, progresses to a deeper multi-stage, multi-domain assessment, and then it supports targeted follow-up. And for us, it opens up that broader healthcare and population-level markets and creates reoccurring engagement and extends our proven science beyond just the clinical trials. And that's really important about making sure we're putting the tools that have been proven in our clinical trial space, in our research space, into the hands of clinicians that can really make a positive effect on patients' lives and really address some of the raising and emerging challenges we have in the healthcare space.
Rob, where would you say you've seen your technology make the biggest real-world difference so far?
So I think from our perspective, it's being able to translate and bring real-world tools to the at-home experience as well, from that perspective of moving away from just an in-clinic experience to tools that are able to be used by people at home. So you can get the measures of cognition and brain health, not just within a clinical environment. And I think as you've seen the trend of things like blood pressure sort of measurements that have moved from being an in-clinic experience to now being requested to be at home, we really believe that we can bring cognitive function and brain health measurements in the same way to the at-home to really make sure that people can monitor consistently over time. And I think that's an area where we can continue to see and also support that early identification piece to then support patient care in the long run.
You're moving into consumer health and wellness. What does that mean for everyday users, Rob?
So we really see about being able to provide, again, clinically validated, scientifically validated tools that are available on people's devices. And this isn't about us moving or building our own applications, but working with partners who are looking at physiological measures and then being able to bring the objective measure of cognition to partner with those physiological measures to understand and really give that N=1 of what happens if I change my activity levels or I increase or decrease. Or we all know that, if you have a bad night's sleep, how you feel after, but actually what's the impact of cognition? So we're really looking to try and work with partners in both healthcare and that consumer space to bring these validated tools that we've spent years developing and sort of putting through that cycle so they can have a reliable measure that they trust.
Well, after that big refocus in 2025, Rob, what should investors be watching as key milestones as 2026 progresses?
Yeah, so we saw that strong rebound into new orders, and also that translated into a stronger opening order book, an increase of 25% compared to the prior year. And we're really encouraged by the laying of those foundations for revenue and earnings growth into 2026. And I think for us now, it's about continuing to execute and relentlessly focus on that commercial strategy, whilst also assessing how we continue to address the healthcare and consumer way in a really cost-effective manner to really drive and deliver on the opportunities we believe there is for our technologies in those applications.
Rob, I hope you'll keep us updated with your progress. Thank you very much for taking the time today.
Thank you very much.
Rob Baker, the CEO of Cambridge Cognition.